Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world or whatever time you'll be watching this video. So, today we're taking a look. Um, now that Donald Trump has been re elected for his second term in office as President of the United States, we know that with his first time around, he came through with some, very hardline policies, and notably some regarding immigration. So, of course, with Biden in power, um, they dialed back on some of Donald Trump's policies, and now, a lot of the American citizens, they're having issues with um, illegal immigrants because they think that too many illegal immigrants are in the country. They also have an issue with refugees that are in the country. So my video today is on Donald Trump's appointment regarding immigration. So it's his appointment of Tom Homan, which in his first round as president, he did put Tom Homan in charge of immigration policies and rules and, so forth. So Tom Homan is considered an immigration czar. So the article, it goes to say President-elect Donald Trump announced, recently that Tom Homan, the former acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, who backed his controversial zero tolerance policy, will be his administration's border czar. So Trump's statement was, I am pleased to announce that former ICE director and stalwart on border control, Tom Homan, will be joining the Trump administration in charge of our nation's borders. Which is where he got the name the border czar, including but not limited to the southern border, that's South America, the northern border towards Canada, all maritime and aviation security, Trump said on his social media network, Truth Social. I've known Tom for a long time, and there is nobody better at policing and controlling our borders, the post continued. Likewise, Tom Homan will be in charge of all deportation of illegal aliens back to their country of origin. Congratulations to Tom. I have no doubt he will do a fantastic and long awaited for job. End quote. So now let us take a look at Tom Homan's career. Tom Homan's career in immigration enforcement spans over 3 decades, making him a seasoned figure in this controversial field. His journey began in the year 1984 when he started as a police officer in New York. His commitment to law enforcement led him to join the U.S. Immigration and Naturalization Service in 1988. From there, his career took a steady upward trajectory. He rose through the ranks to become the Executive Associate Director of Enforcement and Removal Operations in 2013. Homan's hardline stance on immigration enforcement became evident during his tenure. His approach was clear, ensuring border security and maintaining law and order were paramount. In 2017, Homan's career reached its zenith when he was appointed as the acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE. His tenure was marked by a staunch commitment to enforcing immigration laws. He was a vocal proponent of the zero tolerance policy. This policy led to family separations at the border, a move that drew widespread criticism. Fast forward to 2024, Homan has now been appointed as the border czar by the incoming Trump administration. His role will involve overseeing border security and orchestrating deportations, underscoring the administration's tough stance on immigration. Homan's approach to immigration can be summed up in his own words as he pledged a shock and awe strategy on the first day of the new administration. He advocates for mass deportations of illegal immigrants as a means to secure the border and reduce crime. This approach, while straightforward, has sparked concerns about the treatment of immigrants, including those who are legal residents and U.S. citizens. Throughout his career, Homan has been affiliated with conservative groups like the Heritage Foundation and Border 911. His connections to these agendas and his approach to deportation policies have drawn criticism. However, he remains undeterred and committed to his vision of border security. In conclusion, Tom Homan's career and his stance on immigration provide a glimpse into the complexities of the U.S. immigration policy. His appointment as the border czar signifies a continuation of the hardline approach towards immigration enforcement. As we navigate the unfolding narrative of immigration policies in the US, the role of figures like Homan becomes increasingly significant. So just to give you guys just a brief snapshot of Donald Trump and Homan's first time around on their immigration policies. So Trump's policy, what he wanted to happen, was a hallmark, well, the hallmark promise of his campaign was to build a substantial wall on the United States Mexico border and to force Mexico to pay for the wall, which we know up until now hasn't happened, but let us see how it goes this time around. He had plans to put limits on legal immigration and guest worker visas, including a pause on granting green cards, which Trump says would allow record immigration levels to subside to more moderate historical averages. On January 27, 2017, Trump issued an executive order banning the admission of travelers, immigrants, and refugees from seven Muslim majority nations, which at the time was deemed the Muslim ban, which later expanded to 13 in 2020. He also attempted to end the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals or DACA program, but a legal injunction has allowed the policy to continue while the matter is the subject of legal challenge. And if you all remember, the DACA is, maybe parents who entered the US illegally or overstayed and they brought their undocumented children. So the children grew up in the United States without proper, US without being becoming naturalized or have green cards, or any status really in the US. So what they wanted to do was end that program and to deport these kids. Whether, most of these kids, they came up to the US as babies or whatever, so they have no familial ties back to their country of origin. So, it would basically almost seem cruel punishment to send them back home to a home that they do not know. They also imposed the zero tolerance policy to require the arrest of anyone caught illegally crossing the border, which resulted in separating children from their families. So again, persons coming from across the border, sometimes, people, they will send the kids across first and then the parents will go after, or vice versa. So as long as they caught you at the border, then, you know, they would arrest anyone. And this is how, we remember that sometimes there were children and families, being housed in cages, back during the Trump administration. Okay, right? So these are some of the hardline immigration policies that Trump had his first time around. Let us see how much he's going to be doubling down on these policies his second time around. And, I know there are a lot of persons, they are, in quite a frenzy now because some persons who kind of got, you know, relaxed based on the Biden administration. And then they, within the last 4 years, they didn't or weren't able to, get legal status in the United States. So now they're still, they still have an illegal status. So now a lot of them, they are stressing out and wondering what is going to happen to them. They're going to uproot their future. I mean, they, even though the US, they do have some sanctuary cities, but, you know, because no one knows what President-elect Trump has in store, you can't put a blanket and say, okay, I'm in a sanctuary state and nothing can happen, or I will be safe even if I'm illegal. So nobody knows what is going to happen, but, I pray for anyone who is not legal in the United States. My thoughts and prayers are with you, and I hope that, something positive will happen for you guys. All right. So until the next video, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video and let me know your thoughts, and let me know, give me your thoughts on these immigration policies. Do you think that they're too harsh? Do you think that this is what the US needs to curb the immigration problems that the US is having? All right. Until the next video, talk to you soon.